Hey, whoa, train wreck. Hold it right there. This is your station you want to listen to. Today, we're talking about how improving our mental health aids in recovery after this.
Welcome to the 4 Mics, 13 Teeth, 1 Ankle Monitor podcast. A podcast about addiction recovery made by addicts for anyone battling addiction.
Hey, welcome back for the third time. Anyway, today I'm Gary Blanks.
I'm Amanda Blanks, and I'm back.
Yeah, and we're talking about a mental health. And really right now, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but it's been like 7 minutes since I've had a mood swing. Lord. Right. So your mental health plays big key in recovery, right?
Yeah, it's the main aspect to keeping your sobriety.
Okay, so we're going to get into this. We got a couple of points. First off, what's the number one point?
Okay, so the number one point is how improving your mental health can help with your self-esteem and how that aids in your recovery.
My self-esteem. Okay, so I really don't want to talk about that because I have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So, but for me, in my recovery, I noticed that I have low self-esteem, and it was after I got away from my addiction.
Yeah.
That other things start to be uncovered. It's like popping a zit. You get the top of it off.
Yeah, and then
it just explodes everywhere. Right?
Nasty.
It gets everywhere.
But that's how recovery is. Once you scrape off that top layer, which is addiction, then it just bursts out all these other issues that you've got. You got mental disorders, you've got emotional disorders, you've got anger issues, right. You've got it just keeps going and going. But part of improving your mental health, it helps with your self-esteem, because when you're in addiction, what's the one thing you think about yourself? I'm an awful person. I'm worthless. Right. I'm not worth saving. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me to get sober. And once you start to get sober, you start to realize, hey, I am a good person. I do deserve this happiness that comes with sobriety.
Right.
You start feeling better about yourself. You actually start taking pride in the way that you appear to people.
Right. Well, and it's really all in your mind. It's a mindset. It's a well-being state of mind.
Yeah.
Your mental health state. So if I'm angry all the time, I'm not going to get better because I'm not going to open up and listen to anybody.
Yeah.
So now if nobody's listening, if I'm not listening to anybody, nobody's going to listen to me. So now my self-esteem, I'm already kicking myself down.
Well, if people see that you don't care about yourself, they're not going to believe that you care about them enough to give them any kind of advice.
Right.
Like, you don't even care about yourself. Why am I going to take advice from you on how I need to be acting?
Right. So, this confidence though, and building up your self-esteem, you get confidence, but we have to have confidence, be confident in something. And for me, I've had to realize that I have to stay confident in God.
Yeah.
Confident that He's going to do what He says He's going to do for me, and that's what brings me joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So.
All right. So the next point that we have is how improving your mental health can help with reducing your stress, and how reducing your stress aids in staying sober. Right. Because, if you're stressed out all the time, you're stressed about this, you're stressed about this, you're stressed about this. What's an easy fix?
Right. Well,
self-medicating.
Mm-hmm. Which I've been there before. I self-medicate. I've self-medicated with pot.
But it's going back to the normal. It's going back to what you're comfortable with.
Right, what's comfortable, right.
That's like the first thing that you do when you get stressed out in your everyday life. Things that, that especially in new recovery,
right.
Like the first thing you want to do, because everything is so new, everything is so scary, the first thing you want to do is run back to what you know, run back to what's comfortable. Just at the smallest little hint of stress or anxiety, or, that's
right.
The first thing you want to do.
And instead of actually trying to fix the problem, and I'm stressing over something, instead of trying to actually dig into it and figure out what the root of the problem is,
mm-hmm.
It stresses us out more, because it's going to end up, it might be a quick fix, but it's ultimately going to damage you down the road.
Yeah.
Why not, turn to God and do what He wants you to do, and everything's going to be okay.
Well, if you start, you have to, me and you were talking about it earlier, you have to reprogram your way of thinking and the way that you perceive things, the way that you
Right.
act to things, the way that you react.
Well, that's my problem is my reactions to other people's actions.
Yeah, don't we know it? I'm just kidding.
Right, and then that's the thing, though. We're holding in this stress. You have to let it go. You have to
Yeah.
let it out.
All right, so our next, we were just on that.
Yeah, improve emotional
improve
regulation.
emotional regulation. You have to find out how to improve your emotions,
Right.
how you, like we just said, how you react to things, because obviously, in your addiction, what's the first thing you do? You freak out over the tiniest little thing because your emotions are they're unchecked, they're unregulated.
Well, that's my whole life. I've lived an unregulated emotional life.
Yeah.
My emotions have been off the chart. And even when I come into recovery to begin with, my emotions were still way off the chart in both directions.
What's one thing that we do, though, here that helps us figure out how to regulate our emotions?
I don't know what you're talking.
Coping skills.
Coping skills.
That's like
Right.
the big thing to helping with improving your mental health is finding those coping skills
Right.
that work for you.
And it's not, there are healthy and unhealthy coping skills.
Yes, there's healthy, there's unhealthy, there's
Right.
positive, there's negative. You've got, because your whole life in addiction, whatever it may be, not necessarily drugs or alcohol, all of your coping skills, they're all negative and possibly aggressive,
Right.
But there are other coping skills that you can find to help you that are positive, that help reinforce, improving your mental health.
Right. So speaking of coping skills, what's
the one that you said last night? I did write it down. The pause, pray, and proceed.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked that one.
The 3 Ps.
Yeah.
The 3 Ps. I love it.
Because
the pause, pray, and proceed.
All right. So if you're in a situation, you pause, you take a second, and what did you say? You breathe.
You
just
think about it.
think
Breathe.
about it for a second.
Yeah.
You
Like, do I
pray.
really want to slap this guy or not? Because really our
That's what
our
our
reaction
instinct tells us to
but
do.
you know what I'm saying? It's all about our reaction to somebody else's actions.
Yeah.
How am I going to react to this now? Am I going to emotionally damage
This
the person I'm
and
talking
myself.
to, or right, and myself too?
Yeah.
Or is it going to fix?
Yeah.
Lead down the road to fixing the situation.
Well, because a lot of times the way that we react is gonna that's gonna define how what their next step
Yeah,
is.
it's gonna
Because
set
they
the
may
standard,
be totally
right.
freaking out in a situation, and if we join in on that chaos,
You're not
then it's
helping.
just gonna make matters 100
Right.
times worse. But if we pause, pray, and then proceed, it gives us time to actually think about a positive way to act or react,
Right.
and go forward, and hopefully the outcome is more positive.
Right. That's how I love it. And I'm going to give another one that's the triple D.
Okay.
It's a knockoff of pause, pray, and proceed.
Okay.
But it's
It's the great value brand.
it is the great value, bro. I love it. But the thing is delay, distract, and then decide. So
Okay.
you like say you're in a conversation, so you're in a state of mind where you're not feeling that great. Your finances are shot.
Yeah.
Your old lady's on your butt. And then somebody comes over and says, "Hey, you want to go drink a beer? You want to go smoke a blunt about it?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just kinda lay back
let
and
it
relax,
go.
take a second.
That's where you have to, delay them. Like, hold on 1 second. I gotta use the bathroom.
Hang on.
You know what I'm saying? And then just distract them with another question.
Yeah.
Question their question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Answer their question with a question.
Okay.
And distract them. So sorry.
Gear blanks.
Delay them and then distract them with a question.
Yeah.
Distract their question with a question, and then make that decision. And it's really, being in a well state of mind, in your right mind, your decision making.
Yeah, it's giving you the opportunity to take a second, think about the outcome of that action, of what you
Right.
might be doing, and make a better decision about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the healthier your mind is, your mental health is, the better decision making you're going to make.
Yeah, and that goes into our next point is when you have a better mental health, you have more energy to do stuff.
Right, you're motivated more.
Yeah, you have better motivation to do more positive things instead of the negative things that you had the energy to do do before.
But my motivation is not always there. So what am I doing now? So like my motivation for me, a lot of my motivation comes from what I'm listening to.
Yeah, like
the music that I listen to.
Exactly. What do you do when you first wake up in the morning? That's where our motivation comes from. And I was telling you last night, I am 100% guilty of the first thing I do is pick up my phone and scroll Facebook.
Right. Well, I mean, 100% of America picks up their phone when they first wake up.
Yeah,
I know I do.
But what are you doing when you first pick it up?
I push the alarm stop. I cut that alarm off. But do you have the thing is what we're getting at is do you have the strength to set it back down and go straight to God and be like, hey, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for waking me up to allow me to cut my phone off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
I'm 100% guilty of not doing that. Like I've got into the habit really bad of as soon as I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is open my phone, see if I have any messages, and
ain't even brushed your teeth yet.
Yeah, just scroll.
My tooth. I ain't brushed my tooth yet. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna have to change the name, Bill, because I lost another tooth. It's gonna be 413. I mean, 412 one now.
But what you do when you first wake up in the morning, that plays a big role on how your day is going to play out, on whether or not it's going to be positive, whether or not it's going to be negative. If you just lay in the bed for however long, just thinking about, oh my gosh, I've got this to do, and then, I've got this going on. If you're just negative as soon as you wake up in the morning, then...
Right, there's negative.
Then that's going to be...
That's hilarious. Sorry, guys. Bill Dollar. If you can see it, I love it. Anyways,
that's good. That's going to set the tone for your day.
It is
what you're doing first thing in the morning. Are you starting off on a negative note, or are you starting off on a positive note?
And that's the thing. We have a choice. Yes. You have that choice. I had woke up this morning not feeling the best myself. And so I had the choice. Am I going to choose violence today, or am I going to be nice? Yeah,
you have to choose it every day. Like, it does once you get so far into your recovery. It does become more of a natural occurrence, your positive mental health, your positive thinking, your positive reactions. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to have any bad days. That doesn't mean that you're not still going to struggle with making the more positive decision over, well, I'm just going to lay in bed all day. I'm not going to do anything. Some days you're going to lose it. I mean, that's just what it is.
Right.
Every day's not going to be hunky-dory, cupcakes and rainbows and Skittles,
Well, and that's where our accountability partners come in.
Yes.
And having accountability partners does have something to do with your mental health.
Yeah.
And your sobriety.
What was we saying? What was we talking about last night? It starts off as just a group of people that you can talk about your issues with. You don't really know these people. You don't really care if they judge you, so whatever.
Right.
But after you do it for so long, and that's another coping skill that you can use, after you confide in these people for so long, and they hold you accountable for the things that you're doing, whether they're positive, negative, they give you praise for when you're doing positive, they tell you when you're messing up. Those people become like part of your rock, part of what helps you want to keep pushing forward, because I mean, it really becomes like a family. Your accountability partners, they really become
true family.
Like family. I mean, they really do, because you finally got somebody that cares about the decisions that you're making for your life.
Right. And then when you see people that that hold you accountable, that builds my confidence up.
Yeah.
Because actually they're putting in their time to help me.
Yeah.
It kind of puts into me, okay, well, I must be doing something right.
Well, and it makes you feel worth it.
Right. Well,
like
a lot of times we don't see ourselves as worthy as we should.
Yeah,
as worthy as we are.
No.
But people on the outside do see that potential.
Certain people. Not everybody is going to see your potential and cheer you on to be the best that you can be. Not everybody's going to be that person.
Right.
That's where we have to find that line and use our coping skills to decide, what's positive and what's negative.
Right.
Because, the devil lies.
Yes,
he does. He hides. And he can, sure enough, sneak in like he's going to be good for you. He's got a real slick
Yeah, he does.
mouth,
So,
you know?
So you have to actually watch out for who they're hanging around too.
Yeah.
Not only who you have hanging around you, but who they have hanging around them.
Yeah.
So what their influences are.
Yeah, because that's going to influence your decision making on whether or not you're going to be making bad decisions or good decisions, and that's another one of our points is your improved mental health. It helps. It aids in clearer thinking. It kind of gets rid of all that cloudy judgment, that you don't really know what you're going to do. You don't know what the right decision is. Better mental health, it kind of makes it clearer. Right. It helps you see, okay, I know that this is a bad decision, and I know this is the decision that I should go to. Right. And if you don't know, talk to God about it. He will help clear all of the fog, all of the smoke that makes everything so confusing, and help you see the right path, the path that you should take, the positive path,
Right.
Enhanced social connections.
It goes hand in hand,
yeah.
With the decision making. You have to make the right choices on who you socialize with.
On who you're around and who you're using as your accountability partners too.
But and then again too, once you've got a hold on, once I got a hold of my addiction, and I realized I seen what my mental health issues are, my anger, my depression, my anxiety.
Yeah.
PTSD is one, and PTSD is wide. It covers a lot of stuff.
Broad
it's
spectrum.
Like, what was you saying? You thought, well, I have never been blown up in war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How do I have PTSD? I never went to Vietnam. Like,
right.
But PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So anything that was traumatic and caused stress in your life, after the fact, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. And a lot of people, it affects the way they live now, but they don't realize that that's what the problem is until you get clean and you get clear-minded and you get sober-minded and your mental health is in a better state. That's when you really start understanding, okay, so these are my problems. This is what I need to work on. And with the coping skills, this is how I can go about it. This is how I can change that.
And now that I'm more social in my social anxiety, I know that I have it, but now I can realize the points where I get triggered.
Yeah.
And like we was talking about last night, some things you're going to be triggered by something you're not going to see, but sometimes you're going to not see the trigger. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you are going to know what the trigger is, so now I can stay away from that.
Yeah.
Or I know what I've got, what toolbox I've got that I can use in what situation.
You know what tool you can pull out in what situation in order to deal with that and get past that and not let it trigger you.
Right. Love it.
Yeah, I think that's all of our things.
Are you serious?
You have obviously once you get once you improve your mental health when you're in recovery, you're actually happy in your life.
Right.
You're actually able to see happiness and, look at the little ladybug.
Right.
I mean, but seriously though, like you find joy in the smallest things.
You'll be like finding joy in actually picking up the broom at work.
Yeah.
And actually doing something extra at work.
Yeah, because you're able to.
Right. It was like the other morning, I was late for work.
Yeah.
And used to being late for work meant I done sat at the corner store waiting on the dope man to get there because that's what I have to do to get through that day.
Yeah,
because my mental health was all out of the roof.
Yeah.
I was mad or I was depressed or just didn't want to do it.
And that was the fix. That's
right,
that was the Band-Aid that you were putting on those issues at the time.
This morning I was late. I was pulling out of the gas station and looked over, and there was a lady there standing with, it's 28 degrees outside. And there's this old lady standing there, and the little boy with her might have been 3 years old, maybe 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she's standing out there filling up a gas can. Mm-hmm. And I got like 2 minutes to be, 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
Instead of me saying, well, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I turned around and went back in and asked the lady, are y'all walking?
Yeah,
are
y'all okay? Yeah.
And she was like, we're fine. We got a cab right over, and it was sitting over across the parking lot waiting on her. I was like, okay, I was just making sure. Well, it made me late, but that just being able, being in my right mind.
Yeah.
Now that I'm living for God and I'm trying, I love it, just showing love to other people. it give me joy. For
You
the
were
rest of the, I
happy
was
to
happy
be late for that reason.
I was happy to be able to do what I did. You know, and
When
regardless if I get a point for being late, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, before
it would have threw your whole day off being late. You would have been mad all day. You'd have been, and you know, just every tiny
my
little
whole
thing.
routine was messed up because I was late.
Yeah, and you'd have been angry about it. Like you would not have been happy.
Right.
You know, you would have been mad at yourself for even stopping. But now it's like, yes, I get to stop. I get to ask somebody, do you need help?
Right. So that's that social. You know, being able to socially get out and help others. You know, before it was just all for me.
Yeah, it was all about me.
It was all about me.
Which in recovery, especially in the beginning stages, you have to be all about you. You have to be very selfish. But
it's a difference, though.
It is. It's a different type of selfish. But once you get so far into recovery, we find joy in helping other people.
Right.
Like it really. Just knowing that something that I've said or something that, you know, that I've been able to help somebody be in a positive mood, just going up to somebody and saying, I love you. You look amazing today. Just knowing that I can do that can really change somebody's life. I mean, it really can.
Helping others actually helps me in my mental health state.
That's how we help ourselves is by helping other people. And I mean, it brings so much joy.
It does.
To our lives. I mean, it really does.
You know,
and purpose. It brings purpose.
Well, and, you know, in fixing your mental health, though, I mean, that makes you, you know, a contributor to the community. Yeah. You know, now you're out there, you're being fruitful, you're positive, and now you're actually being someone that's considered, you know, well in society.
Yeah.
You know?
Perfect example. I got away from helping up here at Celebrate Recovery.
Right.
And I even talked to you about it there for a little while. I was like, you know, I was kind of upset because I was like, I don't know what God has planned for me. Like, I don't know what my purpose is supposed to be. Is it just supposed to be stay at home with my kids all the time? Like, that's my purpose, which some people that is your purpose.
That's a job in itself.
I mean, it really is. But I realize that my purpose is not just to stay at home. My purpose is to help addicts in recovery. I mean, it really is. Like, I have missed doing this. I have missed all of you. I've missed being able to talk about our experiences and, you know, let people know from people who've experienced it, our experiences, and, you know, giving y'all the information and the tools that y'all need to get to the next stage in your life. Like it really helps me so much, and it makes me so happy, and it really makes me feel like I'm doing what God wants me to do.
Well, right. Well, and the thing is too, though, we have to keep working at it. Once you find your go-to, that's what you have to work on. Yeah. You know, whatever makes you happy, that's what you work on. And,
but it's not going to be easy.
No, it's definitely not going to be easy. It's not an easy road. There's choices you'll have to make.
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to make the wrong choices.
You will make the wrong choices. It's going to happen, but that's our learning experience. Don't take it as a loss.
Well, just like what I was just saying, you know, I was deep in recovery. I was helping with, you know, the podcast. I was a leader in Celebrate Recovery. Well, I let it get to me, and I got scared. Is what I did. And I did what I do best, and I put on my running shoes, and I took off. I was gone. Right. But it left me feeling empty.
It does.
It left me,
and that's kind of dangerous, you know, because
it is, because that's when you want to go back, and you're like, well,
relapse.
Yes, like I mean, I was so close. You know, I got my 10-year chip recently, right? And I stood up, but I told everybody these last couple of years have been some of the hardest in my recovery, right? Because you get comfortable in your sobriety, and you think, oh, I've got it. You know, I can do it just one time. Yeah. But you cannot. I can't, because I know what it's going to lead to, and I do not want to go back down that road.
That's why we have to have a well-being state of mind, because that your relapse starts in your head.
Yes, it does.
You start thinking about it first.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're thinking negative, you are very, very close to relapsing.
Yeah, it's all about your mental health, whether or not you've got, you know, a positive mental health or, negative. Like it really does. It starts in your head, and that's when you start acting out on it.
Right.
And so...
And those that are out there that you think Oh, I'm not mental health. I'm not retarded.
Yeah, okay, think again.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're in denial. Come see us, First Baptist Church in
We'll tell you what's wrong.
Celebrate recovery.
We got you.
But that's the thing, though. Is talk to somebody about what's going on, even if you think you've got it all covered.
Yeah, and if you don't have anybody, if you don't even know where to start, come see us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suggest read the Bible.
Well, yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Talk to God
he is
first.
the great physician.
Yeah, he is the good doctor. He is the first doctor. And
but if you need those accountability partners, if you need those people to hold you accountable and to egg you on and to help you and cheer you on in your sobriety, come up here, come see us. We've got all the tools in our toolboxes that you need to get on the right road and to stay on the right road.
But see, that's the thing, though. What tool are you going to pick up from us? You have to know exactly where you're at in your state of mind to know what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I got a roof leak in my problem, I'm not going to show up over there with a jack and a lug wrench.
Or an electrician.
Right.
You have to know what
all I got some tools to work on a truck. I'm not going to go try to fix a roof.
Yeah, but if you come here, if you come to Celebrate Recovery, or you find a 12-step program, that's where you're going to find out exactly what tools you need for your situation.
Right. And then, too, if you don't want to come talk to us, go talk to a doctor, really. I mean, if you think you got something going on, I mean, it's okay to be on medication.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
if
not.
If you're happy and you know it, it's your meds. I'm just saying, but meds work, They
do, and a lot of people need them. I mean, I had got to the point in my life where I was like, you know what? I got to do something. I need something. Yes, everything I'm doing is great, but I still need help, and that's okay, and that's okay.
And that's
Start there, and then come see us.
About. You have to let go of what's going on inside of you, because it's going to eat you up. You're going to erupt and blow up on the wrong person. If
you stay in the situation that you're in, your mental health is never going to improve.
Right.
It is not. It's just going to continue to deteriorate and deteriorate until there's nothing left of you.
Yeah. See, my unchecked mental health is going to end up in a relapse.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Straight up.
Yeah. But that's why we stay doing what we're doing. That's why we keep pushing forward.
Okay, I love it. So you guys, however your mental health status is, if you think you're happy, just check yourself. Do an inventory. See where your life is. See where your mind is at. Are you steadily on the negative end of things? Are you trying to find? Are you trying to find a positive out of all things, whether you're in a good situation or a bad situation?
Yeah.
So check your mental health. Check on your friends.
Yes,
talk to
definitely.
them. Listen, and not necessarily just talk. Just listen.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a friend.
Let somebody know that you love them, because we love y'all.
We want to tell y'all Merry Christmas. We thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. Jesus Christ loves you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Welcome to the 4 Mics 13